Stamping background stamps or other large stamps can be difficult because sometimes parts of the image are missing after you stamp. But stamping a large stamp can be very easy if you just reverse the procedure. The tools and products you're going to need to do this technique are an acrylic block, a large background or large stamp. Now, you can take a stamp like this and just lay it right on your table, but I really do recommend using an acrylic block because the acrylic block will keep the stamp very stable in one position when you're doing this procedure. You'll also need a piece of cardstock, you'll need some ink, and then you need a piece of scratch paper. The stamp that I'm using today is by Melanie Munchinger. It's from the Gina K Design set Arranged with Love. And Melanie did a beautiful job with this stamp, and as you can see, it's gotten a lot of love from me already. All right, to begin, we're going to ink up the background stamp. Now, as you can see, I've left the stamp laying on its back so that the image side is up, and I'm inking it up so that I can see exactly where the ink is going. That makes it a lot easier than trying to flip the stamp around and get it just completely inked up using the ink pad. By switching it around this way, you can see everywhere that needs to be inked and there won't be any missing spots. Now, if you do have a background stamp that has a very fine detailed image on it, you may want to roll the ink on with a brayer. That will really make the ink go on very evenly. But with this type of image, a line art image like this, inking it up this way is just perfect. Okay, so now that we have the stamp all inked up, we're just going to take the piece of cardstock and lay it gently down onto the stamp. And then I'm going to use the scratch piece of paper and lay it on top. Now, holding with one hand, I'm going to use my other hand to gently rub all over the surface of the stamp. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on. You really don't need a lot of pressure when you're doing it reverse like this. You just need to make sure that the paper comes in contact everywhere that it's touching the stamp. Okay. And then remove your scratch paper and gently lift your cardstock. And as you can see, I have a perfectly stamped image. There's no part on this stamped image that's missing ink. It's just perfect. At this point, I would just trim around the perimeter to make sure that it's even. Go ahead and color it and stick it right onto a card base, and it's done. So hopefully this takes all the fear away from stamping any large stamp image. And finally, you'll get those large stamps off your shelf and onto your projects.